A much needed 2 damage and a This is the Hidden VTuber channel. I'm Hidden, and we're back on the Vanguard Zero grind for the Season 2 ranked rewards. Yesterday we used a Royal Paladin deck with mixed results, but today we're going to be trying out Oracle Think Tank. Like before, this isn't a completed deck because I've been free to play so far. Regardless of that, we're going to try to show off the tricks we do have, so let's jump ahead right into a game. Okay, so we are playing against Oracle Think Tank, who is labelled OTT equals VP farming. Okay, we'll try that again. Okay, so thanks to the VP farmer, we got to Legend 10, so we now have our first Dragonic Overlord, first Vanguard. So that tells us that they're very likely running a High Beast build. This revolves around the Grade 3 Garmor, which gives your Brugals and Snowgulls intercept. The strength of this is that you're effectively increasing the number of your units with intercept in your deck by at least 4, probably 5. And we can't hit that. Do we want to hit that? Brugal has a fairly high counterblast cost, so I think we will drop a booster, even though we can't make use of its effect. I very much do not want to fall too far behind in the damage race in this matchup. Okay, so that's one Snowgull gone. Snowgull gains power for each other Snowgull or Brugal during the opponent's turn. So in addition to possibly being additional interceptors in the deck, they are also quite capable boosters. Yep, Blaster Blade comes out. This is totally not a surprise because we're playing Royal Paladin and Blaster Blade is a consistent fixture regardless of what build you're currently using. So, we see a Snowgull, we see the bonus power going onto the Brugal and Snowgull, we see a Lien, the effect to ditch a card and draw. They ditched this 11k attacker, which is an interesting choice. They're either inundated in grade 2s and fishing for grade 3, or they have possibly multiple Sentinels in hand already at this stage of the game, which could be an issue. So next turn we're going to have to take out one Interceptor. Ow! Ouch! That is painful. So the crit comes out. So we're going up to 3 damage. So what I said about not wanting to fall behind in the damage race, that's... I think that we might have cursed ourselves having said that. What we will do is we will ride up into the grade 2 Tsukiyomi, Soul Charge to non-trigger units, so that's always good, and we will get a fairly passive approach to this turn. We can't do anything too aggressive without at least one other booster. Short trigger is nice. Down to Sakuya. So if we wanted, next turn we could ride Sakuya and bounce the Luckbird back to our hand in order to use it, but we are inundated with Togatsuhimes, which gain 3k power up to 12k when you have at least 6 cards in Soul. And if we ride CEO Amaterasu, that is going to bring that online. So I'm thinking we probably want to ride Amaterasu next turn. And actually, that might be the play regardless. We will have the Mega Blast live, which would mean giving up the 6 soul, but given the difference in damage, I think we do need something back in our favour, and the Mega Blast is definitely something which is going to do that for us, unless we just get taken out by a critical trigger this turn. We've not seen any heals. We have 22 cards left in deck, so roughly 1 in 6 chance of finding something. We don't, and yep, there goes the game. That was unexpected. Yeah, currently the meta in terms of triggers in Vanguard Zero is to prioritize draw triggers because they're far more powerful than they are in the paper card game, or cardboard card game, I guess, because you just naturally gain less cards than in the cardboard card game. But random crit triggers can definitely take games out of nowhere, not to be underestimated. Okay, so we have a Nova Grappler opponent. Chaos saying good luck to you too. We're going first, and they are using the purple card back sleeves. That's good. I have those in real life. They're fantastic. We will keep this hand. If we can find the grade 1 Tsukiyomi using Ichiboshi's effect, this will be fantastic for us. Yep, we hit it. We do tuck our second copy of the grade 2 Tsukiyomi to the bottom of the deck, so we won't be finding that with an effect next turn. Pass and see if they have the grade 1 Blau. Okay, nope. They found Tough Boy. So no grade 1 Blau for them. Oh, there it is. Wonderfully timed heal trigger, doing precisely nothing, and then we will take our turn with the grade 1 Tsukiyomi's effect, tucking the 1 copy of our grade 3 to the bottom of the deck, and then we can ride from hand. So, charge 2, we soul charge a Sentinel. Not what we want to see, but with blind soul charge, you're always taking that risk. We will just go straight to battle. Don't want to risk taking a loss in resources at this point in the game, considering the cards we have in hand. If we had an Imperial Daughter in hand, I'd be much more comfortable trying that. because you don't necessarily need a huge amount of resources for Imperial Daughter to be effective. Yep, we knew that was going to whiff. And we'll ride... we'll go with Amaterasu. We don't have any other outlets for Counterblast, so if the opponent takes us up to at least 4 damage next turn, we will be with our Mega Blast online. CEO Amaterasu's effect at the start of each turn, Soul Charges, and then it lets you check the top card of deck and either send it to the top or the bottom. So you can stack your deck for other effects, or you can filter your deck to try and fish for triggers. So we tucked a non-trigger unit, we drew a non-trigger unit off Dark Cat, so you would expect 1 trigger off this. We did find it. Heal trigger could have been timed better, unless they are going to go ham with the Sternblau Kruger Toolkit Boy combo this turn. Then I would have preferred not to have healed at this point in the game. I'd want to go up to 4 damage to get the Counterblast, to have Mega Blast available sooner than later. But they do have the Toolkit Boy combo, so I'm in retrospect, I'm not too torn up about getting that heal trigger, because we might be going to 4 damage this turn regardless. Yep, so they Counterblast to draw a card. Sternblau Kruger requires a cost of Counterblast 2 and you discard cards, but Toolkit Boy in the back, at the end of the attack it boosts, lets you countercharge 1. Them getting that heal at this point, they're likely to hit 1 at some point, so now, later, doesn't make a huge amount of difference. So the Toolkit Boy countercharged, and they are going to Counterblast 2, discard 2 cards to restand the center column. Because of the trigger power, this attack can still hit. And we do in fact go up to 4 damage with the cheeky countercharge afterwards. Oh, we don't want to ride. Going to stack, and I am happy putting this on top. We have the additional soul to make Tagitsuhime a 12k attacker. We'll have that there, and we do not need any boosters. So we'll take out the Interceptors, and we will swing in for 2 damage, guaranteed, because we've seen the triggers on top of the deck, and we will also do our Mega Blast and draw a bunch of cards. A much needed 2 damage and a a heal trigger. So we heal out of our Mega Blast. We no longer have the 4 open damage because we heals down to 3. That is unfortunate. We might be able to work with that. We can probably survive the next turn. We have a Sentinel in hand, and we will have the potential to get some nice damage shield and triggers to protect us. Yep, taking out the interceptors, stand to play there. We'll easily guaranteed hit. They do find the draw for Sternblau-Kruger. We don't get a damage trigger, and they are definitely swinging in at least 2 more times. I don't believe we've seen any crits from them yet, so this is probably a 9 draw build. They didn't hit trigger, but they don't need to. We didn't hit trigger either, so they still beat over our 20k. Hitting some nice triggers, but we'll be stopping this attack, thanks. And our plan for next turn. Right, so we have seen all 3 of our sentinels. We have 1 interceptor to go through. So, being in the main phase might help when we want to call cards. That can go to the bottom of the deck. We just need to get units into the front row. At this point we have how many triggers out of deck? We have most of our triggers out of deck. We have 5 still in deck out of our 10 cards. I'm going to go with calling down a Dark Cat. Not quite what we wanted to see, but we'll deal with it. Put that non-trigger back to the bottom, and then let's get this interceptor out of the way, and find a trigger which we didn't want. So I've been removing triggers from the deck for no reason. Definitely not because I forgot about Secretary Angel's effect to draw a card and then put one at the bottom of the deck. That definitely wasn't the case. It's obvious I'm lying. So they do not have the Sentinel. Okay, because they'd only seen 1 out. No heal, and we do pull off the win. Again, we find ourselves with a loss and a win. In the game against Royal Paladin, our incomplete deck was running well enough, but too bad for us that sometimes crit just happens. As I mentioned, taking random losses to decks running critical triggers is very real. Abandoning the common knowledge that running primarily draws is most consistent, and instead running a full 9 crit to try and take games that way is a perfectly viable strategy, especially if you're running a deck which is particularly incomplete. It's not a bad choice at all because the additional consistency and defense don't mean as much if your deck doesn't contain enough or any of the cards which a complete deck would be trying to fish out. In the game against Blau Nova Grapplers, both sides had a very good game. Blaus are strong. Hitting with the Vanguards multiple times per turn is no joke. Since Sternblau-Kruger needs a hit to restand, the heals we got may not have factored in as strongly as it looked at first glance. As you saw in practice, the heal did interfere with our attempted use of CEO Amaterasu's Mega Blast, which is an unhit effect, although that mainly highlights one of the big problems with those high counterblast cost unhit effects. What tipped the game into our hands was the lack of a sentinel in our opponent's hand at the end of the game. Given how far they had gotten through their deck, I would have cautiously expected an average of 1 to 2 sentinels in their hand. But that's all for today's video. Tomorrow we'll be continuing the ranked grind, so if you'd like to know when the video hits, you know what to do. We might have something completely different in store as we near the end of the week, so please stay tuned for that. And remember, I'll be seeing you next time.